Welcome to The Style That Binds Us. We're so glad you've joined us today. I'm Allison Brune and this is my daughter Delia Folk, and we're here with the fabulous makeup artist Lori Young at the gorgeous Violet Gray store in Los Angeles, California at Melrose Place. So today she's going to talk about, for my age group, can we still do a smoky eye? How can we still have fun, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So come along with us.
So first I'd like to kind of pick out maybe a color palette that's maybe a little bit more on the neutral side.
Yeah.
So some pretty taupes, browns, plums are really lovely. For someone that has green eyes or hazel eyes, if I go with a palette with those contrasting colors, it really makes the eyes pop. So in your case with green or hazel eyes, if you pick a plum palette, it's opposite on the color wheel. It'll make your eyes look more green. So you don't always have to go with the charcoal or the black, to create a smoky eye. You can do so with a palette something like this. It's a little bit more subdued.
Really
and then I'm going to pair it with kind of an eggplant plum liner.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, make your eyes pop. First, definitely, since we're going to be layering a lot of, more of the shadows and building up a smoky eye, I want to always recommend starting with an eyeshadow base.
Okay.
Something to keep the shadow on and be wearing all day. If you put it on a dry lid, it'll kind of fade away. To create a smoky eye, I just think about kind of starting out with the lighter colors and then incorporating the darker color in little by little. We're gonna start with the base. Let's go ahead and try this mid-tone. This is going to go on the ball of your lid to start.
Okay.
It doesn't have a ton of shimmer, but shimmer can sometimes exacerbate. A slight shimmer is lovely. So there's your base.
Okay. Well, that's pretty.
Starting off with the lighter shades allows you to create a softer look than going straight into the dark shade.
Okay.
You want to layer and eventually start from light to dark so that it doesn't look too heavy. So now you can start to dip into the darker color.
Okay.
And you're going to work with it. You're going to gradually add it in. So first, what I like to do is kind of pop the corners and create a smoky eye that way. So I'm going to apply this, if you look in the mirror, in the outer corner, starting here first. Pop a little bit in out here, and then we'll work from there.
Oh, cool. That's a neat brush too.
So this is a little kind of a contouring accent type of detailing brush, where you have a nice sharp point, so you can kind of do some detailing work. If you wanted a little bit more drama, I would again take your little detailing brush, and you can take the kind of smudge in the outer corner and take it out just a touch. This is making it a little bit more dramatic.
Okay.
Also, it's very handy to have a fluffy brush just to kind of blend and bring the two colors together. So a detailing brush and a blending brush is really helpful. So once you kind of feel like it's a smooth transition from light to dark, you can actually go into the palette and go for, choose the very lightest color here. Now this I'm going to pop in sort of near the inner corners of the eye.
Okay.
So this is going to kind of brighten the eye just a touch. So I'm almost just using this sparingly as well, like an accent color. Because I don't want too much shimmer. But this has a really pretty brightening effect. So I'm going to apply the liner very close to the lash line. A very thin, sort of clean line there.
Okay. Above it or
I'm
under?
going to place this right on the upper lash line.
Okay.
As close to the lashes as possible to
Like,
create
like
a
when
thin.
you do it tight lining in here, or?
I'm going to go on the lid.
Okay.
You can also go underneath. And that creates more of a subtle look, but we're going for more drama, so I am going to place it on the top lid.
Okay, great.
And I like to go in short little strokes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Rather than trying to draw a straight line all the way across, I just go in short little strokes across, then I feel like you get a cleaner line that way. Right at the base of the lashes, like that.
Okay. Oh, I love that. Yeah.
So this
that's
is
really
pretty
nice.
even on its own. We haven't done anything underneath, but we will. But this is nice.
Yeah.
So there's two options that I like to think about for smoky eye. We can either line on the lash line and kind of smudge it down, which will be softer, or another option is called a tight line, which is in the inner rim. Underneath, it'll make the eyes look a little bit more almond shaped, but it's also more dramatic. Have you tried that before? On your inner rim?
Maybe. Maybe
Let's
you have
try
to.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do.
It's a nice look. Okay, so go ahead and look up. So I'm going to place the liner on this inside water line right here. And this I'm going taking all the way in to the inner corner. Take a look.
Wow.
So that gave you some definition,
Yeah.
but it's a bit more clean looking because I haven't smudged any shadow.
Okay.
And I like to, if I'm lining the inner rim on my bottom line, I like to go over it twice.
Okay.
It's a little slippery in here, so to go over it
Sure.
twice will give it a little bit longer staying power. Pretty.
Yeah, that's really fun.
So this is an easy smoky eye.
Yeah.
One last
Really
little
pretty.
step you could do if you wanted more drama is to smudge a little bit of the shadow underneath as well. So you would dip into.
That would make you have dark circles.
You're just gonna use it very sparingly.
Okay, good.
So you're
Show
gonna
us.
dip into the plum, the
Okay.
darker color, and I'm just going to start smudging on the very outer corner.
Okay.
To start, right on the lash line. And I'm gonna go about halfway in,
Okay.
like so.
Oh, that's cool.
So it just creates a little bit of a softer look
right.
and a little bit more drama. But it's all about having the right brush. With this little tip will help you create just a little pop. So I would recommend just kind of starting out little by little and adding in more of the dark tones until you kind of reach that level where you're comfortable and you don't feel too overdone. So I can go back, I can add a touch more. Also, I usually always do the eyes first before, especially with smoky eye, before I do any under eye concealer. Because then I'll have to go back and clean it up.
Sure.
So it'll save you time if you do your eyes first.
Okay.
And then do your concealer. You just clean up under your eye and we'll reapply your concealer. It's very handy to have a micellar water.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, in your cabinet because it's oil free. It'll help clean up
And
and
doesn't
your
make
powder
a
that
mess.
falls down. Do you normally, when you go for smoky eye, is it about this depth or do you like a little bit more? Is this kind of as smoky as you'd go?
I think. I mean, you
Yeah.
can go smokier. If you,
Okay.
I don't know how to. I mean, I don't know what that would be like.
Yeah. Well, I think this is lovely.
Me too.
Sort of like a medium depth smoky eye. You know, not too much, but just enough. Yeah.
Yeah. I
That's
feel
for
like.
you. So I'm also going to touch up your concealer. I love a very dewy looking eye cream, but for events, I typically will choose products that are maybe a little bit more velvety matte, just because I want the makeup to wear really nicely for hours. So I picked out a really nice hydrating concealer.
Great.
So I want it to just melt into the skin and not look heavy. This is the Cogendo. A little bit goes a long way. And then I might sort of tap it in with my foundation brush or a concealer brush. But you can certainly just use your fingers.
And what are your feelings about like how to put on the foundation? Somebody said I feel like half of my foundation goes into my brush every time.
Oh.
So I was thinking maybe they weren't quite doing it
Yeah.
right.
Well, my own personal preference is a brush, just because as a makeup artist, that's what I used to do.
Instead of one of those
But
blending.
a beauty blender or sponge will sort of give you that same finish if you're using the tool correctly. And I find that with a lot of foundations or concealers, tapping it or stippling it in is sort of the best application I find for getting the foundation in to sit into the little teeny fine lines and pores, rather than
like
just rubbing
in
it.
your moisturizer rather than rubbing
Yes,
it.
exactly. And you're being more gentle on the skin as well. Take a look.
Yeah, that's pretty.
To give you a brightening effect, it doesn't look heavy.
Right. It's not all creased.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
At this point, you can I kind of take a step back and think, oh, do I want to add a little bit more eyeliner? Do I want to create a little bit more depth? So I could, take the eyeliner, I can just, again, sparingly start to go in and sort of add a little bit more. Because you really wouldn't be able to create this with a big brush. You need something
And
small.
also, like the one I have it's almost like a sponge. It's almost like a pointed sponge. It is bristle hair. I mean, it is, but I think it's almost too firm.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I feel like this one has a little bit of a...
Good too, because it's more gentle on the eye. And again, I'm taking my
It doesn't put
fluffy
it on
brush.
dark.
Just kind of blending. People too ask me, oh, what do you apply under the brow? I usually just take a little bit of the lightest shade and I'll just pop a little highlight, not too much, just under the brow. I like this. It's like a not too heavy, but still smoky eyes for an event or something, or a wedding or a dinner. I feel like this would be appropriate.
I think so too. I think it's perfect for not going overboard, right?
Yeah.
Or coming in. Yeah.
So if I do a heavier eye, that means I'm going to want to do a softer lip. Or if I do a bolder lip, I usually go for a softer eye. That way it doesn't look too done up. Of course, there's always exceptions to the rule. But I feel like that's kind of a good rule to follow.
Okay.
So in your case, you kind of had more of a subtle lip on.
I usually do a bolder eye.
So I feel like this color is great for you. Something peachy.
Yeah.
That enhance your natural lip color, peachy pink. I only really do a red lip, for like a red carpet or something.
But
like
almost no eye makeup.
Yeah.
Just okay.
But I love this peachy pink tone. Is lovely because you played up your eyes a little bit more.
Right.
And also gloss, adding a little bit of gloss on top gives them more of a fresh look. Like a moisturized, fresh kind of youthful look. So that's a really nice little touch.
Okay.
If you're going with a nude lip.
Okay. And then, is there something like if you have thinner lips, should you go with a softer color rather than a darker color, or is that not really a thing?
I don't think there's any necessarily cut and dry rules, but I always like to take a little eyeliner to kind of enhance the natural lip shape. So for example, I love the color that you have on now.
I think that's it.
Oh, perfect.
Does that show up to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I like to do to enhance someone's lip shape is just I do a slight overdraw with the liner just to make it a little bit more full.
But not like the
yeah,
whole
exactly.
thing.
I kind of feather the pencil and build a little bit more fullness, but kind of in a subtle way. And actually, I usually do this before I do my lipstick.
Yeah, sure.
The liner first.
Yeah. So I walked away, and then I thought, you know what? I think we should just take it all the way. Whatever.
Okay,
let's
sure.
see as bold as we can get. And
Yeah,
see
let's
what
have
that's
fun.
like.
You know,
Yeah,
why not?
exactly.
Like everyone should.
Right. There's not a certain age when you have to stop having fun.
No,
right?
not at all.
Okay,
I think
good.
a very easy way to transition from what we've done, which is light to dark,
Right.
is if you feel comfortable
Sure.
and you want to apply more and you're used to wearing
right.
more makeup, then you would just go straight into the darker color and you would use that sort of as your main color all across the ball of your lid.
Okay.
So it's very easy. So I'm going to take my fluffier brush in this case.
Okay.
Because I'm going to be applying it to a larger area.
Yeah,
So
that
I'm
makes
going to take the plum and I'm just going to just go right all the way across the whole wall of the lid. I'm using this fluffy brush because it picks up a little bit less pigment. The denser brushes pick up more.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then they're going to deposit a lot more. And so they're a little trickier.
It's
If
easier
you work
to
by layering it with a loose brush, it'll
Okay.
kind of apply sheer layers. take a look. So I'm utilizing more of the dark color.
Oh yeah.
Just up into the crease. I don't want to go too high. I want
Right.
to stop at the crease.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And you can keep looking. So I'm just gonna kind of back and forth like a windshield wiper. You know? Smudge a bit more underneath too.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the shadow all the way underneath,
Okay.
so towards the inner corner. Take a look. Pretty.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think that's as smoky as I go.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's
And then of
cool.
course you'll still want to clean up underneath in case you have
Okay.
any fallout from the
Yeah,
darker
yeah.
shadows. I'll want to clean up my concealer.
Yeah.
Kind of the last step.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for watching our YouTube video. I hope you got some great tips. We are both thrilled with our look. We will make this video shoppable, of course, and get ready for some violet gray overload because we are going to be talking about this for a long, long time. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe to our channel, and we can't wait to see you next time.